Hi, I'm Rob, pastor of Calvary Chapel, Turlock. It's been a couple weeks now since the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and I know the subject has been vetted thoroughly by virtually every talking head on the internet. But I just wanted to share a few personal thoughts. First, I didn't realize how extensive Charlie's reach really was until after his death. I knew that young evangelical Christians appreciated Charlie, and I knew that Turning Point USA was very effective in recruiting young people to conservative politics. I just didn't realize how global his influence truly was. People from all around the world were deeply affected by his life and his ministry. Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, tweeted out his condolences for the loss of Charlie Kirk. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, also made public statements mourning Charlie's death. In fact, Bibi said that he had been in personal contact with Charlie, even inviting him to Israel for a personal tour. After his funeral, we saw 100,000 people fill a stadium in Phoenix, along with millions of additional people watching his service over the internet. And it struck me that the president, the White House staff, senators, congressmen, and many other government officials were being confronted with the gospel of Jesus Christ because of Charlie Kirk. Amazing. Repeatedly, the message of salvation was declared for all to hear. But alarmingly, the other thing that surprised me was the level of pure hatred that so many people have for the same man and his message. I knew that many of the college kids he confronted were hostile to his ideals, and certainly their professors were as well. But I had no idea how far this vitriol actually extended. Americans on the left, far beyond college age and steeped in their professions, took to social media to either justify or even celebrate his assassination. His gloating detractors repeatedly hurled insults like racist, sexist, and homophobe to rationalize his killing. But Charlie was quite the opposite, actually. A real gentleman, in fact, always giving his opponents the courtesy and space to speak their ideas very clearly. He was committed to dialogue and debate, believing that the exchange of ideas actually prevents violence. And then it became obvious what the social left really meant with their insults toward Charlie. Charlie was a racist because he didn't support DEI, and he highlighted disparate statistical behaviors among ethnic groups. He was a sexist because he believed or he pointed out that obvious and natural differences exist between men and women. And they charged him with hating transgender people because he insisted that a person could not change their biological sex. Charlie Kirk spoke with a deep understanding of the facts, and that hurt their feelings, so they labeled him a hater. In his death, he unwittingly revealed the deep moral and spiritual chasm in this nation. We are no longer one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are not merely separated by our view of the role of government or domestic politics. Charlie Kirk revealed a deep-seated hatred by the left for the Christian worldview. The Bible says that God created us male and female in the beginning, and he made us to complement one another. There is a rabid portion of our society today that rejects creation and design and utterly abhors the idea of two genders. Charlie Kirk's killer was involved in a sexual relationship with a young man pretending to be a woman. When you live in a society that cannot and will not define what a woman is, you can expect enormous moral and spiritual conflict. And that's what we're seeing today. Charlie Kirk believed in equality. That is, equality in the value of human life, equality of opportunity, equality of protection under the law. That's why he believed in a merit-based society. But that ideal completely upends the Marxist worldview of government playing referee and deciding who gets what. It destroys the philosophical underpinnings of DEI. Our nation is divided between a Christian ethic and a Marxist Islamic ethic. And that's why there is such vitriol between the two sides today. Charlie Kirk was killed because he stepped on a lot of toes in exposing the love of darkness. But now, it helps us as Christians to see where our culture is, where we are on the spiritual map. His death allows us to see the landscape clearly and how to proceed from here. May we now rise to this occasion and confront our culture with the gospel of Jesus Christ as effectively and as courageously as Charlie did. Thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.